I just got back from seeing Fantastic Four First Steps, and I gotta admit, this movie was really good. I enjoyed it. It was very simple for the plot, and I appreciate the fact that Marvel took this movie very serious. The comedy wasn't in this film a lot, and they kept everything very simplistic. Now, talking about the cast, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic and slash Reed Richards, he was fine. I like the fact that Marvel really showcased him as a genius scientist, and he got to play that character a lot. They did show some of his abilities, and I know some people think it's very corny. He has these stretching powers. I understand it feels like, okay, that's all you got. But I love the fact they really honed into his genius side, because Reed Richards is one of the smartest mans in the Marvel universe, and he is the reason why Galactus got defeated, because he was focused on a plot, they were able to execute it, and he led the Fantastic Four. Like, Reed Richards as Pedro Pascal was the leader. Then you look at Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, where she wasn't this girl boss lady where she was trying to push her husband around. They really complemented each other very well. So I appreciate the fact that Marvel went in that direction, and it was fine the way they portrayed these characters. They both were able to help each other out, support each other, and you never got the feeling that one side was more dominant than the other. They just were a functional marriage. Were they imperfect? Yes, but I really appreciate that aspect. Then let's talk about Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. He was great. I didn't mind him whatsoever. Obviously, there's reports about him being more in touch with his feelings. That didn't happen in this movie. He was solid in his character. And then you look at Ebon Moss-Barack. This is my only character where I was like, I wish he got a bigger spotlight, but I appreciate the fact that Marvel was trying to keep everything very simple, and the characters were still working together as a unit. That's what I really loved about this movie, is all four characters were helping each other out, complimenting each other, sharing ideas, showcasing their powers, and making sure they can save planet Earth. So I like the fact they were still trying to work together. I really love that aspect about this movie. Now let's get into spoilers. The plot itself, very simple. Was it perfect? No, but it was still good enough for me, because again, we've seen different Marvel films over the last few years where things are over the place. It doesn't make sense. They kept this movie very simple, and on top of that, it has nothing to do with the previous Marvel movies. This is starting over, a different Earth, a different universe, and you go into like, okay, this is different. Let me get on board. I like how they built things up. I like the fact that the Fantastic Four connected with the citizens. So they started the movie off with Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Sue Storm goes to him and says, I'm pregnant. Obviously a little bit nervous. That's to be expected. And they share that moment. That's really cool. They're starting the movie with having a child. Awesome. Then you go to the next scene where they have the Fantastic Four going to outer space before they have powers, come back down to Earth. They have these new powers and abilities. They go and help their citizens by stopping these bad guys. So they give you a brief introduction to these characters just to build a simple foundation. So I didn't mind that whatsoever. And then we get into the female Silver Surfer. Well, before that, they also had the scene where Doctor Doom from Latvia, they didn't show him. So I appreciate the fact they didn't show him at all, just so we don't have to really think about him. So that was cool. So we move on to the female Silver Surfer. I didn't really like her. I really wish they had Norrin Radd. That's just my preference. But I did like the fact they kept this plot simple, so it was easy to follow. So she comes to Earth, tells the Fantastic Four, your planet is doomed, Galactus is coming, and good luck, pretty much. So the Fantastic Four decides to go meet with Galactus and talk to him. So the Fantastic Four decides to go and fly into outer space and talk to Galactus in his universe. So they get there, they have a conversation, and Galactus is saying to them, look, if you want me to spare your planet, I have a simple proposition for you. Give me Franklin Richards. Now, the reason behind that was Galactus didn't want to keep having this craving for planets, and he wanted to just have rest. So he wanted Franklin Richards to take that desire from him. So he saw how powerful this baby was. And of course, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm are going to say no. It's obvious. Their baby, they're not going to give him up. So they go back to their ship. They escape the Silver Surfer and Galactus. They go into warp, and the female Silver Surfer is following him. That makes sense. She can time travel pretty quickly, go from Galactus to Earth easily. And they're in that space, and it's bending, and Johnny Storm is shooting at her. You see these lasers just bending in space. That was pretty cool to watch. And then you have Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. I thought they did a good job handling that scene where he wasn't freaking out. He had the Thing and Johnny Storm take control of the ship. he's managing everything, directing stuff while his wife is pregnant, ready to have this baby. She's freaking out. He's trying to keep her calm, and he's not anxious. He's not showing any type of I can't handle this. You didn't see a scene where he was a doormat and a pushover where you had her brother take over the pregnancy. That didn't happen whatsoever. He was handling the whole situation. That was really cool. So they're in space. They get to this black hole and they lure the Silver Surfer into the black hole. They get it out of that situation. And Pedro Pascal helps deliver the baby with the thing coming in as well to help out. And it was a great scene. I enjoyed that a lot. They have their baby. And then we move on back to Earth, where the reporters are asking the Fantastic Four, hey, you defeated Galactus, right? No, we didn't. And they're going crazy. So now we have the next part of the movie where the Fantastic Four is trying to figure out how do we defeat Galactus. The press doesn't like them. Your citizens are turned against you. So I appreciate that. Everybody's freaking out around the world. And that was good. I thought they were just going to leave that out. But they did show enough where people are irate. And then you have Sue Storm come out to address the citizens who are outside their building and saying, this is my baby. I'm going to fight for this baby. I'm like, man, pro-life. I really love the fact that, no, we're not giving up our family. I'll still fight for you guys, but I'm fighting because of my child here as well. Don't you forget that. I love the fact it was pro-choice. That was great stuff by Marvel. So it really wasn't woke to me whatsoever. Now, Reed Richards comes up with an idea of how they can keep themselves safe from Galactus and not be eaten by this planet eater. So he says, okay, let's take this egg and teleport it over here. So he shows how that can work, and he argues that if we can take Earth and teleport it to an entire different universe where Galactus doesn't know where we are, we'll be fine. And I was thinking, okay, you can do that, but won't it impact your solar system? What if you're near another universe where you don't have as much sun or the moon isn't working properly? I just thought about these things and I'm like, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but I understand the idea of just trying to protect your family and the citizens. And he's a scientist, he's not perfect, but I can appreciate that. So they built these teleport systems around the world, and they get ready to teleport themselves. And of course, the female Silver Surfer comes out of nowhere, cuts them off, and then she's going for Franklin Richards. And Human Torch goes after her. He lures her away by playing these different sounds that he recorded of her, and he was aiming to make her feel bad about what Galactus did to these other planets. So they built this scene up. They give her a little bit of a backstory where they show her from her other planet, how Galactus came down and sucked her up. And that was it for the character arc of female Silver Surfer, because after that scene, she just vanishes. And I'm like, I wish they spent some more time just talking about, how she felt, because I felt like her motive wasn't good enough for me. I didn't feel connected with the female Silver Surfer, and ending that scene in that way, I wish they spent some more time with her character backdrop and not just rush the next scene, because it was cool. Like, you saw her leave her planet, Galactus makes her the female Silver Surfer, and I would just like to see some more details in that development. But that was it. We moved on to the next scene. The Fantastic Four decide to use Franklin Richards as bait, because at this point they can't teleport. They got to figure something out. So they set up their plan. Now the goal was to trap Galactus in the center where the baby was. Now they did move the baby and make it look like a fake so he can be sucked into another dimension. However, when Galactus got there, he noticed it was a trap. He didn't step into it, and he went the other direction to go after Franklin Richards, which is understandable. He's a planet eater. He's not going to fall for that stuff. Even though Johnny Storm blinded him after, he got all that heat off his eyes, he realized, I'm not falling for this. So he's heading towards Franklin Richards. Sue Storm tries to stop him. Car crashes. She's done for. And then Mr. Fantastic, man, that was a cringe scene. Well, not in the sense of like, I didn't enjoy it, but it was like, man, he was getting destroyed. He stretches him out so far, and then you have the thing coming just in time to say the part, it's clobbering time. And then after all that, Galactus does get the baby. So he's walking away with the baby, and then we have Sue Storm use her powers to just hold him. And some people are going to find a problem with this because it's like, oh, another girl boss scene. I did not have an issue because she's a mother. She wants to protect her child, and she's going to do everything within her power to get him back. I did enjoy the fact that Reed Richards went and saved the baby. Now, I understand the scene before that where he's trying to consult his wife, saying, are you sure you shouldn't be pushing yourself this far? You're going to hurt yourself. But she's like, save our baby. It makes sense. So he goes and saves the baby. Really cool that the father's saving the son. And then you have Galactus get sucked into this portal, and Johnny Storm is getting ready to sacrifice himself because he comes out of it again. And we see Sue Storm dead at that point. And Johnny Storm's like, tell Franklin his uncle loves him. He was going to make the sacrifice. That was really cool. And then Fimo Silver Surfer comes out of nowhere and pushes Galactus in, and she sacrifices herself for planet Earth. That scene would have hit better if they showed more of her backstory. Because again, I didn't understand her motive at all. I thought that scene was a wasteful opportunity for Marvel. Would have been better if they just went a little bit deeper into why she became Fimo Silver Surfer, how she felt about her planet and not being with her child. That would have been cool, but we didn't see that. She goes away and comes back and helps stop Galactus. Like, okay, cool. But we transition to Sue Storm, who's dead at the moment, and everybody's sad. And then Franklin Richards is crying the baby. And then all of a sudden, he brings her back to life as he's on top of her chest. That was a really cool scene. They're all together. They triumphant over Galactus. And again, I like the fact these four really work together as a unit. Nobody felt out of place besides just the Thing not getting a big enough spotlight. I still feel like he did showcase his powers enough. I just want to see more from him. But at the end of the day, I thought this film was a good start for Fantastic Four. I enjoyed it a lot. If I had to give this a rating, it's an 8.5 out of 10. I really love this film. Maybe some of you feel different. I didn't see it being woke outside of just the Fimo Silver Surfer, which I did not like whatsoever. And her backstory, it just didn't make any sense to me. And of course, I would like to see a bigger part from the Thing. Those are like my nitpicks of the movie, what I didn't like. But overall, I thought the film was great. Now, going forward, in my opinion, should we have an Avengers Doomsday movie? I think they're rushing it. I would love to see a second movie to the Fantastic Four First Steps, because we can see more character development with the four together instead of having them go from this movie to a bigger universe. I think that's a mistake in my opinion, because if you take your time developing these characters more, you can build off maybe the Fantastic Four fight Doctor Doom, and then you can lead to that Avengers level movie. That's just my personal opinion, but overall the film is great. I enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you think about the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.